What happened right before we went to war in Iraq? How was the approval rating of George Bush? How were we feeling about the economy? Not good, not good. And then we went to war, and everybody kind of forgot about it for a little bit. And it artificially stimulates our economy because of military spending. That's the only way you can really get out of where we're at right now. You can increase taxes. You can try and cut spending and increase taxes if you want to pay down this debt, but you can't levy tariffs and cut taxes and then go to war and expect this debt to go away. Looks like over at the White House now, we're putting these fences back up. For people who don't care about, like Cenk said, people don't care about these protests. The White House doesn't care about these protests. They do care. And it does affect them. And they know that people are angry. I also have this sneaking suspicion we're not done with things that people are about to be angry about. And to me, this does look like the White House is preparing for protests. I think what they're preparing for protests for is that I believe wholeheartedly, and I hope I'm wrong on this. This is just a prediction. So, whatever you think of the accuracy on my prediction here, take it with a grain of salt. I'm not saying this is 100% happening, but we've seen a lot of movement in the Middle East. This is the transfer of air defense assets and military equipment to the Middle East. You can see we were flying in to Belgium, into Hungary, into Romania. All our troops are being mobilized everywhere. This says U.S. Air Force C-17A Globemaster III and a C-5M Super Galaxy, both originating from Osan Air Base in South Korea, are crossing Europe, heading towards U.S. Central Command, while another C-5M arrived from the U.S. at Ramstein Air Force Base in Germany before likely continuing on to the Middle East. Since March 25th, over 120 U.S. military logistics flights have arrived in the region, including C-17, C-5, C-130s, KC-135s, and KC-46. We are staging. Whatever they're doing, they are staging. If this is a show of force, maybe. But if it's certainly a show of force towards Iran. I think that there's a good argument to be made here that the only way to get out of this tariff mess, and maybe it's planned or maybe this is reactionary, the only way Trump's going to be able to get out of this mess is to go to war and get people to try and line up behind him and line up behind American patriotism and go to war. This is a military plane, just so you can see the video in the background. A total number of U.S. forces in the Middle East has now reached 300,000. I think it was 160,000 before, so we're almost double that now. Remember, no new wars guy, bring our troops home guy. We've already increased the number of troops in the Middle East by 140,000 people just in the last couple of weeks. And I do think that that's the exit. That's the way that Trump is going to try and spin this, I would guess. I think that we've seen escalating violence in the Middle East, and we're doing nothing but poking the bear over and over and over again. We're calling it overwhelming force to squash the enemy. But I've been around as long as many of you. Did this work in Iraq? Did it work in Afghanistan? Does this type of shit ever work, or does it lead us into a 20-year war? And what happened? What happened right before we went to war in Afghanistan or in Iraq? How was the approval rating of George Bush? How were we feeling about the economy? Not good, not good. And then we went to war, and everybody kind of forgot about it for a little bit. And it artificially stimulates our economy because of military spending. That's the only way you can really get out of where we're at right now. You can increase taxes. You can try and cut spending and increase taxes if you want to pay down this debt, but you can't levy tariffs and cut taxes and then go to war and expect this debt to go away.